Hi, welcome to the Sailor Moon Fan Club podcast panel on Sailor Moon Eternal Part 1. We're just talking about Part 1, and I have some special guests here. Destiny, do you want to introduce yourself first?
My name is Destiny. I'm host of the Getting Animated podcast where I talk about anime and manga and all that fun stuff. That's pretty much it.
MadamZeti.
Hi guys, my name is MadamZeti. I am a cosplayer. I've mainly cosplayed Sailor Moon characters, as well as a wide array of other anime characters, game characters, comic characters, the like. So yeah.
Yeah, awesome cosplays. Definitely some good.
So good. So good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I'm Victoria L. Johnson, host of the Sailor Moon Fan Club podcast and pop culture journalist and Sailor Moon stan, obviously. So what was your just a general thought to like how the movie was, the first part?
Personally, I liked it. I thought it was really, really good. Like the animation was gorgeous, which is like not that I was like surprised because Sailor Moon is gorgeous in general, but it just looked really good. It felt like up to par to 2021 standards, if that makes sense.
I get that, yeah. How about you, MadamZeti?
I definitely agree. Piggybacking off of what Destiny has said, the animation was beautiful. I really liked how they stayed true to the animation in regards to like how it was in season 3 of Sailor Moon. I cried in certain parts. They also weren't, and another thing that I noticed, like they also tied in a few elements of CGI, but it wasn't like to the point where it was just overbearing like they did with the first 2 seasons. So like catching that, I was just like, oh, okay, I like this. But overall, part 1 was just gorgeous.
Like I can't stand CGI, but when it's done well, I'm just like, okay, I can get behind.
Yeah, like when they had the little lemurs here and there, I'm just like, okay. But when they like it was different from when they did like the whole CGI transformations. When I saw that in like the first 2 seasons, I'm like, whoa, like what is this? But you know, it was to the point where it wasn't, you know, excessive in season 3 and in the movie as well. So I definitely was rocking with that.
It's funny you say that because I completely missed that CGI part of it for some reason. Because it kind of just, I think it just blended in really well. Because I was like, there was CGI. And then you mentioned the lemurs things. And I was just like, oh, yeah, they were CGI. That's so cool.
Yep.
I'll start with you, MadamZeti, because you said you cried at certain parts. So what were some of your like high points? Like what had your emotions going?
Okay, so like in the OG Sailor Moon, I really was not rocking with Chibiusa. But like, you know, revisiting the dream arc and like seeing like I guess seeing her character development, you know, throughout the dream arc and how she was wanting to be like a grown woman, you know, be into her womanhood as she gets older and stuff like that, and seeing that animated in the Eternal movie, I couldn't help myself but cry. I'm just like, I really don't like you, but I really feel for you, girl. Like, you know, just her connection with like Helios, and you know, she's so tied into him calling her, you know, the young maiden. She's really trying to be the best Sailor Guardian as she possibly can before she has to go home and everything. So that really touched me like to my core. I was just bawling my eyes out.
Yeah, I think one thing I didn't realize until this movie was like she's really doing like this imposter syndrome a little bit, where it's like yeah, like, oh, I'm not good enough, like I want to be older, like I can't live up to like Usagi. And it's like, girl, like you've been defeating villains, like you're good. Like
And it's so funny because the way that she gives Usagi so much crap and like how they go back and forth, but she still wants to be like her and just like wants to fit in her shoes. I just think that's it's a lot.
It is. I low-key her role model, but she's like, I'm not gonna let you know though.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like Chibi Usa becoming an adult, like from back then, that was such an iconic moment. Like I just remember seeing her as an adult and being like, oh my God. And she wasn't even an adult, like she was just like a teenager, but that was enough for me to be like, oh my God, adult. Like
She looks super cool. Destiny, did you have any high moments for you, high points?
I really liked closer towards the end, when the transformation happened with Sailor, and she couldn't with Sailor Venus, and she couldn't like get in touch with herself, and Artemis was just like, no, like I'm a bad partner. It's me. And then they have this really special connection, and just that part kind of gave me goosebumps. Not kind of, it gave me goosebumps because I was just like, that connection between the two of them. I love how she was just like, you're the other half of me. Like you never really think about it like that sometimes. You know, they're always around each other, but the fact that they're so close and so intertwined and her powers can't activate unless like he's there kind of pushing her on. It's just like, I loved it. That part was like amazing to me.
Yeah, I really like that part too. Like, do you really know, like you said, like they have such a strong connection, and I feel like they're just so like cute together. Like I don't know, like, and it shows like they don't have like romantic love, but it's like they still like they're like ride or dies for each other because they've been together like for a long time.
For a long time, and I feel like their relationship kind of transcends like the regular relationships, you know, like you said, I don't think it's a romantic love. Like I generally feel like it's one of those relationships where you're like, I have a soulmate with somebody, but it's not technically romantic, but we're still soulmates, you know. Like I think that's just that type of relationship is so genuine, and I really appreciated that.
Yeah, I totally agree. Wow. Were there any low points, like any parts you didn't like?
um in my opinion, I mean, I love Sailor Moon. I love her. But there were certain times where she was just like really annoying. And like I know that's like her thing, but I was just like, oh man, and like as someone who doesn't watch the franchise like often and all the time, but like go back and revisit sometimes, like you kind of forget how like annoying she is. So I just remember like watching certain points and being like, I really wish you didn't show up right now. I mean, I wish you weren't yelling, but that's pretty much it.
How about you, MadamZeti?
Yeah, I agree. Like there were some parts where she would just be like, man, please, like Usagi, please. Like when she would be doing this whole bickering back and forth between her and Chibiusa, and I'm just like, can't we all just get along? Please.
You're the older one, so like you should be
arguing over like, right, you're supposed to be setting an example for your future daughter. Like, what are you doing? Fighting over Mamo-chan, like, no, yes, we're well aware that you're going to be with him in the future, but you also have to get yourself together and get your future daughter together. So like what's going on? What's going on?
Yeah, I completely agree. I was like, man, for anyone like watching this and like doesn't know about Sailor Moon, they're gonna cringe so much because there's like so much like she's like jealous over her like future daughter, like her relationship with her like future father, and I'm like, what? Like, girl,
Yeah.
like there was a part where
yeah.
Chibi Uso was basically like, oh, how she wasn't hungry, and the tantrum Usagi threw, and it was just like, are you serious? She made her favorite. Like it was just like, calm down, like bring it down just a notch. Like she just said she wasn't hungry. Like why are we snapping? And it was just like, oh man, jeez.
That's definitely true. Yeah, that's true. That was a little much. Like, damn, I'm having a bad day. Can I just like vibe for a
Can I
second?
sulk for a little bit and cry to myself without you like yelling at me to eat?
She did go for the cake though. She did.
Mm-hmm.
I would have went too.
Yeah.
So have you both watched all of Crystal?
I have not.
Well, so I guess
I have.
Madam Zeddy, and I guess Destiny. Like, where would this season or these movies rank for you in like the entire Crystal, or like what you've seen, or if you've seen any of Crystal, Destiny? Or MadamZeti, if you want to go first.
Yeah, you can go first.
I would definitely rank this at the top. Because I guess because of how it was pretty much laid out, from seasons 1 and 2. Don't get me wrong, I really liked how they came about doing the retelling of the story in general, and how they're pretty much trying to tie it into the source material, which is the manga. But you can definitely see as they go along, with season 3, the animation kind of like, kicks in. They do a different, animation style, and they tie it into the movies. I definitely feel like the movies really, really tied everything together, and that's why they're listed as the top rank.
Yeah, I felt the same way just because I feel like you said, like the CGI transformations in the beginning were kind of like, and I wasn't really feeling the first 2 seasons like a lot of people. I do think the third season was like a lot better, just because like they like took out the CGI transformations, they it just looked better. And I feel like this is kind of like they kind of hit their stride and was like, all right, we got everything kind of down now, and we're gonna give you this like really good story. Yeah.
I think I know, like I said, I didn't finish all of it, but I would definitely put the movie higher, just because I wasn't a huge fan of Sailor Moon Crystal, because I watched like the original, and then like the animation change definitely threw it off for me for a little bit. But watching the movie, it just kind of felt natural. It just felt like an updated version, and I really liked that. Like I just liked how it kind of felt like it was still close to home in that way. Kind of, it's definitely different than Crystal, because I felt like Crystal was like way off the mark, or a little bit more like not what I'm used to. The animation definitely is still different in the movie, but I would definitely rank this Sailor Crystal.
I feel the same way. Yeah, I feel like it's just up top because, like I said, like it feels a little bit more like the original series. It like ties into the manga still, so like it doesn't feel like it completely off like the first 2 seasons did. Like it just felt like not a completely different show, but just different vibe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it was really good. Yeah. Now a little harder question: where would you rank this movie in like all of Sailor Moon, so like the 90s anime and Crystal from what you've seen?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so this would have to be like second rank to Sailor Moon Stars, because I love season 5 of the OG Sailor Moon, because like they really take it there when it comes to like, the boss fight. It's just the Sailor Moon villains in general. Like I feel like nothing is for like the best. Yeah, it's second rank to Sailor Moon Stars.
That's pretty high up. I wasn't expecting that, honestly. But yeah, I love Sailor Stars is my favorite too. I would probably, I think I would still rank it pretty low, like probably right above. I do like this better than the original Supers season,
Mm-hmm.
but I'd probably like rank this like right above that, or right above that in like the first season of Sailor Moon in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Really?
but yeah, I put most of the 90s above the movie, I think. Yeah.
I feel, honestly, I would agree with you. I would put this movie below like everything that, like all the 90s. Because I just
But the first plot.
yeah, like right after like all the 90s, and then then you put this movie and then put Santa Crystal, because there's just something that's just so genuine about the 90s version of Sailor Moon. Like there's just something that it's just so iconic. And I feel like all parts of it, every season, like even seasons I didn't really care for, I'm just so like, it's the iconic version. Like you can't, like what's better than this? Like, and that could just be like nostalgia talking as well. But I gotta put like all of the 90s Sailor Moon because they're all so good. Like everything about it just has such a special place in my heart versus like also moments that I was watching it and things that I could relate to going through whatever I was going through at that time with that specific season. So it's like nothing can beat that.
Yeah, I totally get that. The 90s version has so much for me, so much nostalgia, so much love. Yeah, I completely get that for sure. Yeah, I think it's a solid movie though. Like I think it's a solid first part, and I think it just does a lot of good things with the franchise.
I actually had a question.
Mhm.
Would you recommend this to someone who has never been into Sailor Moon? Like, would you be like, okay, watch this movie, or would you still direct them to like the 90s version or a Sailor Crystal review?
So MadamZeti and I actually spoke about this a little bit before we started recording, and like I wouldn't suggest this movie as like a beginner, just because I feel like there's a lot of things like with that you just like they kind of hint at the outer senshi where you're like, who are they? Um, and I think there's like a lot of other things that they don't really explain because it's like a fourth season of the show. So I don't think it would, but I would suggest like watch all of Crystal and then watch this, or just read the manga probably.
That's fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
and that's only because when I'm trying to get someone to
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was just piggybacking off of you. I would definitely agree. Because one of my friends actually reached out to me and was like, "Should I watch Sailor Moon Eternal?" I'm like, "Yeah, you should. However, you need to watch Sailor Moon Crystal so that you're not confused."
I was just saying that I feel like I only say that because whenever someone's trying to get into Sailor Moon, I don't want to like throw them into like here's 200 episodes. I feel like that can be very daunting, especially if you're new to anime. Even if you're not new to anime, like 200 episodes is a lot for people. So I'm like,
it is a lot. It is a lot, especially when people be like, oh, what's an anime? Like, recommend an anime to me. And then people will be like, oh, One Piece or Dragon Ball Z or Sailor Moon. Like, it's just like, you can't start with these big numbers and expect people to like want to finish it. It's no. Start them off with baby stuff.
Yeah, like good 12 episodes, 6 episodes. Yeah, even I usually don't suggest, like I'll tell everyone like you should watch Sailor Moon because it's a great show, but I'm also like maybe you should start with something else first and not like hop into 200 episodes. But I'm like, if you want to though, you can. I'm not gonna stop you.
Yeah. For sure. It's funny when I mention anime and people don't know what that is. If you say Sailor Moon, they immediately know what it is. They're like, oh, okay. It's like Sailor Moon, Pokemon, like you mentioned, those things are just like, oh, I got it.
Yeah, that's what like I feel like it's so universal.
Yeah, it's like the most popular.
I saw something on Twitter the other day that was basically saying like how Sailor Moon is like the stepchild of like the OGs. But when you think about Sailor Moon, you think about Dragon Ball Z, like you think about the big threes, you know, and it's crazy how Sailor Moon is never in those conversations. And I hate it. I think it's dumb. Like it should be at least like a hard contender with Dragon Ball Z, because when you think about anime, that's those two things pop up. Like if you type Dragon Ball Z or just anime in general online, Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball Z, they'll like pop right up next to each other. So it's very frustrating.
I completely agree because I came up on both at the same time, and I feel like they just go hand in hand for me when I think of anime in the 90s. I'm like, those are the top two for me, like Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, and like Sailor Moon was also on Toonami, like so it's just like, why does that one always get dismissed when they're talking about anime or like OG anime? It's frustrating.
They're haters that don't want to admit that they're watching Sailor Moon. Misogynist. Would you put is Sailor Moon? Obviously Sailor Moon's in your big three, probably MadamZeti.
Oh yeah, like I grew up on Sailor Moon. Like me and my cousins, that was literally like the way we bonded. Like we was always fighting over who was who. You know, granted, initially, since I couldn't be the leader, since I couldn't be Sailor Moon, you know, I'm gonna just stick with Sailor Jupiter. You know, she's cool, you know, for the time being. But as I got older, you know, I felt more aligned to Sailor Mars because she has such a fiery personality. And I mean, of course, she's an Aries and stuff like that. But I just always admired, you know, her feistiness and her powers, her fiery powers and stuff like that. So, of course, I'm gonna just go hard for Sailor Moon, like, especially when it comes to these whole, like, oh, well, can she? Of course she can, okay? Like, she busts planets. Like, what? Like, have you seen her in her final form? Like, what?
That's so funny that you said that you like have related with Sailor Mars because I wanted to be Sailor Mars so bad. Like I was like, Sailor Mars is my favorite. She's the one I want to be. And then as I continue going through life, I realized I'm Usagi. Like not only are we both cancers, but like the way that Usagi handles a lot of like a lot of situations, I probably handle them the same way. And I'm a big crybaby, so I'm like disappointed. Like I'm just like I wanted to be Sailor Mars, but I'm Usagi. It's a mess.
It's fine. I feel like you have like a rising sailor favorite and like a what sailor favorite that you know. I don't know the astrology terms, but I feel like that it applies. Yeah, I definitely love Sailor Moon growing up, and I still feel like I am Sailor Moon. But now I feel like as I'm getting older, like I'm starting to like dabble into like other Senshi. I feel like I'm a little bit of Jupiter sometimes Pluto, sometimes like Neptune's my favorite. So, but yeah, but there's reasons to love all of them, honestly.
Yeah, they're all wonderful.
That was my next question. Who's your favorite? So now that you guys got um, and then the last thing, so what would you rank Sailor Moon Eternal from 1 to 10? Part one.
Part one, I would definitely rank an 8. Because like I said, as someone who's revisiting the series, I was getting goosebumps and chills looking at just everything, like the animation. Like it's been a very long time since I've seen a anime that captures like the shoujo experience to the max, you know? Like I was seeing like eye sparkles, I was seeing romance, like hopeless romance. I was seeing bonds and friendships and tears. Like it was wonderful. It was just reliving that and really getting to experience that shoujo experience. I give it a solid 8. Give it a solid 8.
MadamZeti?
Um, I would give it a 9. I would give it a solid 9. I really liked how they tried to tie into the source material as accurately as possible. I love seeing all their like nightmare sequences, especially like with my fave Sailor Mars, like just like because I was literally, you know, revisiting the dream arc and pretty much trying to figure out how they're actually going to animate this. And like seeing hers in particular, like she was, you know, at a point where she was losing focus, you know, on what she actually wants to do in life. And because of that, you know, they were able to feed off of that, you know, in the mirror sequence or what have you. And just seeing all of that tie in together, it was very dope. So yeah, solid 8. I mean, not 8, 9.
Yeah, I think you know, it's funny. I feel like I started out as 8, but I feel like hearing you guys talk, I might go up to 8.5 because I think it was just like a really solid movie. And like you said, like it really captured like a lot of what that original 90s anime did, but also like while paying like staying true to the original source material. I think just those two things together. I think the story is really great. Like I love seeing more of the Amazon trio and like them engaging with the Senshi. I thought like the whole Hawkeye part was like that almost made me cry. And he was like, "You allowed me to live out my dream for a little bit," and I was like, "Oh, that was his real dream, y'all." So that was really cute. Yeah. So I think I'll give it a solid 8.5. Yeah. And what are you guys looking forward to next? And this could be either in part two. I know MadamZeti, you've seen it already, but um, it's offline. Or like if they animate the stars, like what would you look forward to seeing the most? Just
Oh, you want me to go first?
I feel like you're ready. I feel like you're ready.
I'm just really looking forward to more transformations. I think that's the highlight of Sailor Moon is watching them transform. So I'm really excited to see what kind of transformations we're going to see, what attacks we're going to see, just more about the story and seeing like what they're going to be up against, I feel like. I don't know, man. I feel like there's so much that could be seen in the second movie. So I'm kind of really excited to know what's going to happen next. I'm interested. I don't feel like I don't remember much from the manga to be like, oh, like I know what this is exactly going to be like, you know? So I think going to be happy to see the refresher for sure. Have you seen it?
More so in regards to the Stars arc, I want to see like more dark elements, especially when it comes to these fighting scenes. Like I want to see all of that because people always assume that, you know, Sailor Moon is just strictly, oh, it's so cute. No, like have you seen Sailor Uranus and Usagi? Like they were scrapping with each other. Like I want to see all of that shit. And
yeah,
I
they've
also
like
really
died too, right? Haven't they died
yeah,
a couple of times?
They died.
They died a couple of times. Like,
yes.
Like it's so funny. I've seen like my fiance was trying to get me into Dragon Ball Z, and he'll like explain to me how like Goku dies or something, and I'm just like, Sailor Moon, I'm pretty sure has died like a couple times, like, or at least her friends have died, and she has to like save them. So I'm like, that's very similar. But go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I also really want to see all Sailor villains. Like I know they left out like Sailor Fee and Sailor Chi. They left out two other ones. I think it was like Nemosin and Late, and they also left out my good sis Sailor Heavy Metal Papu. I'm like, I really want to see her because I am just so obsessed with her design. I think like her butterfly wings and just like her costume in general is just gorgeous. It pretty much gives me like carnival vibes. So I just really want to see like all of them. Like even if it's for like a split second, I just want to see every single one of these villains in the Star Arc if they do animate it.
That would be really cool. I just love Seiya and Usagi's whole storyline. Like I didn't think I would ever like anyone more than Usagi and Mamoru, but I was like, oh well, no, Seiya, you got some. But yeah, the villains for sure. Just like seeing everybody would be super cool. And I want to see them get Sailor Pluto's skin color right.
Yeah.
We can only dream.
Fingers crossed. Another thing, I really want to see Sailor Cosmos.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the last thing because I'm just like we've heard about her, you know, in the manga, but we haven't really seen her in the OG. But I really feel like Sailor Cosmos needs to be done some type of justice because her outfit is amazing.
Completely agree. I'm looking forward to that too. Also, we didn't even talk. We saw the Sailor Saturn. Her like, she actually got like, oh wait, that's part two. I'm sorry. I didn't give you anything. You mean you know Sailor Saturn's gonna be there.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. And people have been saying it on Twitter, but you're probably avoiding Twitter, which you should. But yeah. Any final thoughts on part one of the movie? Anything else?
Yeah. Nope, I'm good. I liked it.
Go watch it, okay?
Yeah, go watch it.
Watch it.
Yeah.
Completely agree. Well, thank you guys for coming, doing this panel. It's really exciting to talk about part 1 of Sailor Moon Eternal with both of you. And
Thank you so much.
And just tell people, where can people find you? They want to learn more and hear you guys talk about Sailor Moon and stuff more.
You can find me at Destiny Senpai on Twitter, along with Getting Animated on Twitter and Instagram. Also destinysenpai.org. There's a lot of me spilling all that out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And thank you so much for having me. It was so much fun.
MadamZeti.
You can find me at MadamZeti, that is ZETI, on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
Awesome. And her TikToks are really good too. They're really good. So is Destiny's. You guys are killing the social media game. But once again, in Victoria, you can find me at Miss Old School. It's Old School with a K. And you can find my podcast, Sailor Moon Fan Club, at Moonies Club on Twitter and Instagram. And thanks for listening, Moonies, and go watch the movie. All right. Bye.
Bye.